Hey, everybody, it's the real Tommy Unleashed. My new show, new format, whole new series of guests we're going to be having come up at the Attorney King Studios here in Coronado, California. We want to thank our sponsors, Suquan Casino, Nikki Rottens, and IB Fitness. Before we get started, I wanted to say that I wanted to thank my previous co-host on her other show, Tina. Take us back with Tommy and Tina. Great friend, great professional, and couldn't have done a lot of things without her help. Today we have with us, I'm really excited, Dana Cornelius, actress, author, executive producer of her new, very funny dramedy, You're Taller Over the Phone. Dana, how are you today?
Hi, Tommy. Great. I'm doing
Awesome.
extraordinary today. Thank you for having me on your show. I'm super
Oh, you're
excited.
very welcome. Yeah, this is great. Want to get out there and help you promote your program. In all transparency, I was a guest director on the pilot, I guess,
Yeah.
episode.
Uh-huh.
So I am familiar with the show. It's very funny. And why don't you tell us what your inspiration was and what you got coming up, what you're looking forward to?
Sure. Well, the old adage, write what you know, right? So that's
Yep.
what I do. I'm very good at dating because I've dated 1,000 men in my day. When I say dating, I don't mean sleep with them. I mean just getting to know them over coffee or the like. Okay. So
Yeah.
I'm very good at that. So we write what we know. So I started lamenting to my Facebook audience. I had
Uh-huh.
maybe at that time maybe a few hundred friends. Okay, I've maxed out at 5,000 now, but at that time it was a select group. And I
Right.
started lamenting some of my dating woes. But I framed it in the positive. So I would always present an issue and then I would present a solution. And my Facebook relationship said, you have an extraordinary way of communicating that information. You need to put this in a book. So there I did. 2 years later, I published this little pup. This is the author's copy, by the way. It's got that little stripe across it.
Yep.
But in any event, I had my brother, who's an artist, with the logo. It's a little man in a keyhole, and it discusses basically internet dating deceptions, and it's called You Are Taller Over the Phone.
And all of us who have done internet dating can relate to that book.
Yes.
Totally.
So, there's 1,000 dating books out there, but there's nothing that really is humorous, and it's a quick reference guide and you kind of flip through it and there's little memes and things. So it's a kind of coffee table thing, or maybe you want to give away after you've read it, or maybe even refer back to it and say, you know what? I think I might want to take that suggestion this next time around. So, and then the SARS-CoV-2 hit the scene domestically on domestic soil. And I thought to myself, well, Hollywood's kind of going dry a little bit. So I decided to produce my own films. And that gave me leverage.
Yes.
Certainly a lot more control of what the content, how I wanted to participate in them, and also how to run a set. So I've now produced 5 episodes. I shot my 5th episode yesterday called Hollow Mark Bench. I'm really excited about that.
Awesome.
And each episode, I always love to work in the solution in life. I'm not a complainer at all.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't believe in bringing a problem to the table unless you have a solution also that you can offer. So that's what I do. I present sort of life situations, and then I present a solution. And so when people finish the film, they can walk away feeling like inspired, and they learn something, and they can be better daters. And I want to finish up with this, Tommy.
Yeah.
In my vast experience in the dating scene, I can say this safely. It can be very painful more than it's not. And people in general are horrible daters, and they hurt people, and people
Right.
walk away feeling traumatized. Now, we don't hurt them on purpose. We're just bad daters. And the problem is that people get traumatized by these experiences, and then they perpetuate the trauma over and over and over to other people.
Right.
So then it proliferates. So then we have a whole population of bad daters. And then we have a whole, as a consequence to that, people staying at home on a Saturday night feeling lonely or are defeated, unmotivated. So my impetus was this, is to get those people off the couch and feeling good about themselves again and back in the dating world so they can feel like they deserve a partner the rest of their life. Bam. Done.
You think as you get older, you just forget how to date?
Sure, I think, but it's like riding a bike or swimming. You never forget. You know, you got to get right back in that pool. And believe it or not, you know, you're not going to dive off the deep end if you haven't swam in 30 years or 20 years. I mean, that's silly, right?
That's true.
Your instinct is to go to the shallow end and test the water a little bit to make sure it's tepid, right? And then you're going to prepare for swimming. You're going to go out and buy a set of trunks. You're going to make sure that they fit. You're going to do all this prep work. Well, dating is no different. You do prep work before you date. Right? You get some clothes. You want to change your diet or lifestyle so you can feel good about your physique and your stamina. So you prep just like you do for getting back in the water. No different.
Oh, awesome.
And you never lose the skill set of dating. Never lose the skill set of relating to people. You don't lose that. You may get rusty, lose it.
That's true. Very true.
Yeah.
Are there any high points of the series that you want to talk about without giving a spoiler to people who want to watch it?
Oh, wow. Well, I do want to say this. It's not an episodic, okay? So it's not a continuation of one or another. They're completely independent plot, these stories, okay? And they address different challenges in dating. And it's across all age demographics. So what I'm doing right now is really a pilot. So I've got 12 episodes in the pipeline, and I'm going to see which episode is the most popular on my social media, and then I'm going to spin that off into a full-length feature film. But
awesome.
I can tell you that right now, this last one called Hollow Mark Bench. Hollow is an old English term, and you hear it in the Lord's Prayer in Christianity. Hallow be thy name. Well, hollow just means sacred. It's a sacred union. So we titled that Hollow Mark Bench, thanks to my beautiful writer, Stephen Seidman. And it's about this pediatric surgeon who goes to this bench to find peace. And she happens to run into this chef, completely different, the master chef. And three holidays in a row at the same time, same bench. And she's a scientist and she doesn't believe in kismet, but he does. So the story is about her evolving into being more of a believer in that which cannot be seen or measured. And that's love.
Very true.
This is going to be a beautiful, beautiful episode that we just shot yesterday. My favorite so far is Dada, because that's the funniest. Your audience, if you've ever seen Wayne's World, and if you've ever seen the series The Office, well, think if those two had a baby, that's Dada. Right?
Right. It was a very cool concept you had.
Thank you.
And quite enjoyable. And I think everybody will enjoy it when they see it. Right now, you're just on YouTube, right?
I'm just on YouTube. I was posting my films on Facebook, but I've decided not to do that this time. I'm pulling that. You'll get the trailers on social media. But the films are going to be published on YouTube exclusively at this time.
Okay.
I can control my traffic and my statistics better that way.
Yes, that's very true.
So those who don't want to use YouTube, and there is a population that don't like YouTube, believe it or not, I am also on BitChute and Rumble, and it's the same name. You Are Taller Over the Phone.
Okay. All right. Yeah, we'll put out all your links. After we're done today, we'll put it out on our page and on the same when we share the video. We'll make sure that your links are on there so everyone can look for you. What else do you have going on?
Oh, wow. Well, I'm acting at the same time.
Right.
So, your audience may chuckle. My latest video came out. I'm big with Darman Studios,
Mm-hmm.
several times. But lately, Smile Squad is very popular on social media. They have millions and millions and millions of followers. And they just released a video of me. And it's maybe 2-3 minutes long, but it's hysterical. It is so hysterical. I think I'm going to get probably 1,000 Instagram followers in less than 48 hours. I've already got 800.
That's awesome. That
Because
is
of that
unbelievable.
Yeah, and subscribers and followers on Facebook. People are really, really loving that short video. It's hysterical. So it's just about dating an older woman.
Mm-hmm.
I'm the older woman.
Well, you don't look that old. I've seen you in person.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, so just go to Facebook, the Smile Squad, and you'll see the video. It's hysterical.
Okay, the Smile Squad on Facebook. Awesome. That sounds great.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
That's the
And,
latest I've done.
So, how are your demographics net looking for your episodes on YouTube? Are you doing really well?
Well, better, better than I
Mhm.
had expected. It is a lot of work, for one person. So I
Right.
really appreciate this exposure, Sir Tommy.
Yeah, Sir Tommy. Right.
I really, really do. And it's an organic growth. And
Mm-hmm.
there's a lot of people that commission growth that can commission companies that can speed your growth, and it doesn't feel as organic. I'd like to think of myself as an honest person, so I'm trying to do this as organically as possible. So that takes a little bit longer. It can take up to 5 years to grow organically, the following.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. I've wondered about those companies that promise you X number of followers or subscribers if you contract them. Are they
right.
real? How do they find them? I haven't heard good stories from
Yeah.
some people that I know that have done it.
Yeah, I just, it doesn't feel right. I kind of go on feelings,
Yeah.
and it doesn't feel right in my gut to do that, because I want people to watch my films and, authentically enjoy them. And if they do, then share the films, like or
Yeah.
comment, but mostly share, because it's really all about the viewing time.
Hmm.
So, because it's about advertising, if I'm selling baby powder, I'm going to want to know, how many hours are your viewers,
Yeah. Right.
channel. So it's really all about viewership. And I tell you, I have a little secret.
Okay.
When I really like a channel, like on BitChute or Rumble or YouTube, and I don't have the time to watch the entire video, maybe I'll come back to it later. I'll just leave it running. I'll leave the video running just so the owner of that channel can have more time, viewer time. And that's like a gift I give them. And then when I come,
well, that's really an important.
yeah, it's a little
That's really
trick.
important. I didn't think about that, but that is true.
And if you love a certain, podcaster or a citizen journalist or anybody who has their own YouTube channel, give them some love that way. I know we don't have hours and hours and hours of the day to spend watching things, but just turn it on, and usually it just automatically goes to the next video, and you can give them 5 or 6 hours of your time. And that's just one way of showing them a little love.
Yeah, that's a good point. I'm glad you brought that up.
Mm-hmm.
And I think for all of us in the media that do these type of things, that's important. Let's all share the love with everybody, and do that with the others that do the same thing.
Exactly.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. Very good point. Thank you so much for that.
Yeah, you're welcome. That's what I do. I keep it on, and I just take a shower or something, or I run an errand and I come back, and, because sometimes, I hear all I want to hear in that hour or that 90 minutes, but sometimes I watch the whole thing.
Yeah, it depends on what it is. I sometimes I come across some foreign products that are films and that, which are really amazing. And I don't care if they got subtitles, because if the acting's good and the graphic, I mean, everything is good, the coloring, the speed of the film, and that, to me, it's I'll sit there and watch it,
Sure.
2 hours will fly by, and I'm sitting there going like, well,
And tell me, the problem is if we don't give these channels that we like love and a lot of it, they're going to go away.
oh,
Really?
definitely. And
They're
you
going to
know
go away.
what's fun is there's several of them. I become friends with actually a couple of the YouTube channel owners, and that
Uh-huh.
was just because of watching them and watching them grow, watching their subscribers get bigger and bigger and bigger, and it's kind of great to see somebody with good content and a good show
Hmm.
go somewhere.
It is. It's rewarding for them. I feel happy for them.
And one thing I've noticed is that the videos on there that are like maybe no more than 15 minutes do better,
Uh-huh.
because I think, it's like a music video or anything. You lose interest after a certain amount of time,
Yes.
and it forces them to put really good content in a short amount of time. And when you think about it, your average sitcom is only 22 minutes,
Yep. Hmm.
and you have 11 minutes commercials, 11 minutes commercials, and that's an old formula that works.
It's an old formula and it works, and then sometimes it doesn't, because remember that was pre-phone, cell phone. So,
True.
family night,
True.
people made dinner, they brought it to the couch and they watched their Three's Company or their favorite,
Right, right.
they were committed to watching 30 minutes of laughter or the Carol Burnett show. It's different now with cell phones. We're always on the run. We're doing something, right?
Yes. Yeah.
Always multitasking. So now the demand is shorter, shorter, shorter. And the Smile Squad's an example of that. It's literally 2 minutes and it's punch, punch, punch. It's clip, scene, jumping to this, jumping to that. So your mind is so in that video for 2 minutes. Now my little movie shorts are a little bit longer. They're about 12 minutes. So they do require a little bit more of a commitment.
Yeah.
you know.
But that's right in the ballpark.
It's a story. It's an evolution. So
Right.
I'm looking for that audience who's willing to take 10 minutes out of their lunch hour, or maybe watch it while they're eating, or something like that.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
And that's a good point. If somebody is on break from work or on their lunch break, which is a half an hour, it gives them time to watch a program that they
Yes.
follow and not have to end it partway through and
Yes.
go back to work.
Yeah.
And so that's really a great way to look at it for utilizing the social media video services.
Uh-huh. And the greatest compliment when someone says, "I wish it were longer,"
Yes.
and that's what I'm getting for Dada.
Are
Now
you,
the pilot, the one that you directed, Tommy.
yeah.
I've gotten a lot of when is the sequel coming out? Now, Dada was the prequel. They
Mhm.
want to know how the date went.
Yeah, I was wondering about that because that's kind of where we left it,
Yeah.
and you build that excitement and anticipation in the audience.
Yes. Yes.
And yes, I've wondered that too. And I've even had a couple of people ask me that also. And
Yeah.
I just say, I'm sure it's in the works.
Yeah. So that's what that's good writing. That's good directing. That's good acting. It's creating a pleasant environment for people to work, the crew and all that, and to put out a nice product. And the editing, of course, the editing is key.
Yeah, key, definitely key.
Mhm. Yeah. So, I mean, to have these 12-minute little vids, I think it's my preference. Eventually I'll go to full length feature, but right now I'm just taking it in piecemeal and doing like a 12, 15 minute or so. 10, actually 10, 15.
It's a good way to build the audience and just kind of little breadcrumbs as you're going along and make that desire there for a feature.
Yeah.
Because they'll care about the characters at some point, and what happens, and so many people can relate to what you're telling, the story you're telling, and and it's I could see that right away from the first pilot. it was like, yeah, man, that really brings up a lot of memories for me. And I'm sure it did for everybody. In fact,
Well, it's called Richard Pick, and
yes,
it's a play on another word for Richard, and
yes,
it's a behavior, it's a nefarious behavior that's often experienced on cell phone dating apps, where people swipe left or right, and it's really easy to see a photo that you don't ever want to see ever, but you end up seeing it, and it's hard to unsee something like that.
yes,
So
true.
it's happened to me, and it's just, it doesn't make me feel good at all. And so the movie starts sort of with that premise, but it
Hmm.
quickly evolves into second chances, the idea that people can rehabilitate, people can change and be better people given the right conditions, and that
Yes,
second chances sometimes is the most appropriate response for a situation. Now, every situation is different, and
hmm,
you've got to take in consideration all of those elements. But suffice it to say, second chances sometimes can be the best choice.
yeah, especially if the person is humble and really truthful, and I think we can sense that, when you get to that point, and maybe see the real person.
Yeah, and give them a chance to prove themselves. I know
Hmm.
some people who suffered from addiction, and they stop their addiction. They've lost the trust of their friends and family. So their ramp time to get back into good graces is a little bit longer
Hmm.
sometimes. But let's give people a chance to prove themselves,
Right,
right?
right.
So.
Yeah, definitely. Do you
Mhm.
think this forced lockdown that we've been under for quite a while last year uh, caused more of this with the internet dating and the internet communications between couples? Um,
Well, it's a really good question. Yeah, I mean, it definitely it sped up any kind of internet activity. It can be done on the internet. It's been done, right?
mhm.
So, internet dating, definitely, no question. People are, and now are those relationships lasting? I don't know. I've met a couple of people that got married last year during the lockdown. So,
Oh,
yeah, I would say to answer your question, I think there's an increase of that traffic, the dating traffic online for sure.
yeah, I wondered how much of it would be just transient because you're never physically with that person. And then you build up an expectation in your mind, and both sides do. And then when you meet that person in reality, you find out it's not really what you had envisioned. And I'm not saying you put people on a pedestal or anything like that, but you think about people in a certain way and certain values you draw from them. And I would think it'd be very hard to live up with an image that you create in your mind over months versus going on a first date and actually meeting somebody. How the dating websites originally had started. And
There's the video chat now. A lot of the dating platforms are strongly encouraging a video chat, and they've even built into their platforms the software where people can do that safely and not use their own
oh, that's good.
phone numbers. So personally, I've never done a dating video chat before. I'm still a little old fashioned, so that kind of creeps me out a little bit. And plus, I've got to put makeup on. I got to get my hair done. It's a lot of effort for me. Unlike a guy who just shows up. So I mean, it's true.
It's true. I'm not debating that one.
But there's a lot of value in it because of what you just said. It can intercept any kind of illusion that people create, a false illusion about people. So you go right onto that video and get those dispelled, and then you can take it from there. It's better to see them on a video than to drive all the way to the coffee shop or the dinner and spend
Hmm.
an hour with someone you would never spend an hour with normally.
Yeah, and you get there wondering when it's going to end.
Mhm. Now, theoretically, people can be catfished, right? There could be a completely different person that shows up in person than they're on video. So, there's always those sickos out there,
There's
right?
always that fear. It's
Yeah.
whether you're. Uh, I've been catfished.
Yeah.
I have to admit, yeah, about 15 years ago, I was convinced somebody was somebody else, and
That's so
until we actually met in person, and I always thought, for one, it takes a lot of guts to show up, because once you meet, you're going to realize that everything you had said or portrayed was fake. So it's like, I think I told you the night we watched the screening about this woman had used her daughter's profile and told me that, well, that's how I used to look. And it was like, I wanted to know how you look now, not how you look,
I mean,
20
come
years
on,
ago.
delusional. I mean, would you even want to be with that
No,
thinking any more than
no.
5? The thinking behind that.
Yeah, it's like you're going to find out, you know?
Ugh. I mean, it's just the thought process you just want to avoid, I mean, I got recently, well, a few months ago, I almost got duped. Someone on Telegram told me
Hmm.
they were Keanu Reeves, and I said, "Yeah, right." I go, show me a picture." So he showed me a picture, and I go, "Well, I researched. I look on the internet, high and low, and I couldn't find that picture." I'm like, "Well, maybe this is Keanu Reeves." And then, and I said, "You know what? Then take a short video of yourself and say my name, right? That would prove it." And
Right.
he didn't do that, but he sent me another still. And I'm like, why am I having this conversation with someone I don't even know? And then he sent me another still of himself. And I looked high and low for that on the internet, couldn't find it. I'm like, wow, it really is Keanu Reeves. Well, and then they started asking me for money.
Oh, okay. There you go.
Yeah, then I had to report him to the feds. So that was the
Yeah.
end of that dialogue.
Well, I just got a 3-minute warning here.
Okay.
Um, so we're lucky today to have Dana Cornelius with us, actress, author, executive producer, independent film producer with a dramedy series called "You're Taller Over the Phone," based off of her book of the same name. And I'm so glad we could have you here today,
Me
Dana.
too.
And why don't you just tell the listeners where you could be contacted, or your social media contacts, and we'll also put it on the website after we're done. But
Absolutely. You can find my YouTube channel at You Were Taller Over the Phone. You Were Taller Over the Phone is also available on Amazon. It's called You Were Taller Over the Phone. You Were Taller Over the Phone. And that's also on Instagram as well. Now, me as an actress, you can go to Instagram. It's just Dana Cornelius. You can look me up on Facebook. You can follow me there as well. So either Dana Cornelius or You Were Taller Over the Phone. And, you're looking at someone who lived a fairly good life and chose a career path that yielded some money, enough money to help me buy property and all the things that I love to do. But I was miserable on the inside. I really was. I was miserable. But now I have found really the sweet spot in my life, in this creative outlet of being an actress and a filmmaker. I can't see life any other way. And I'm midlife. So I want to send a message out there to all your listeners. Quit your job. If you're miserable, if you're a clock watcher, you're punching in and you're punching out, quit your job and do something that you absolutely love to do, that you spring out of bed each morning to do. If you're not springing out of bed to go to work and do what you love to do, then I'm sorry, you're not living your greatest and highest good, the
no,
purpose that
no,
you have on this planet.
you're absolutely right. I'm never been happier, I don't think, as being a independent filmmaker,
Mm-hmm.
actor, podcast host,
Yeah.
writer.
Uh-huh.
It's like you're living a life you always wanted to as a creator. You're creating something.
Yes, a legacy
And
too. You're leaving something
right,
behind. Uh-huh.
absolutely.
With a message, with an important message.
Yes, and anybody can do it. I mean, you just have to have the will.
Absolutely.
And
100%.
until you're ready, don't quit your day job, though.
Right. You got to have a backup. Actually, my day job was a means to an end. It allowed me to buy some properties, and now I
Yeah.
live rental income, so I can afford to do what I love to do. So be smart about it, obviously.
Mm-hmm.
But the goal is to eventually end up doing what you're passionate doing.
Right. Absolutely.
Do what you love as if money was not an issue.
Yes. Okay. Well, thank you, Dana. I'm glad you were here today.
Thank you, Tommy. Thank you so
Yes.
much.
And you've been watching the Real Tommy Unleashed show at Attorney King Studios here in Coronado, California. Everybody have a wonderful day and take care, Dana. Bye-bye.